Test, test.
Testing, testing.
I heard everything. Oh man, that was just getting good.
I had my microphone muted the whole time, and that's probably why the music was there.
Well, then it must be X's own special blend of music. I don't know.
Fantastic.
It sounded pretty good. It wasn't too bad.
It was
digging it.
pretty good, actually. I was vibing with that. I might leave it on. I might just mute myself. So, how are you guys doing this evening?
We're doing good, doing good.
All good here, Spud.
Good stuff. So, welcome to our second Mindmore Insiders chat. We have Brian, our fantastic co-host, again with us, and we have CraggleBear this evening. He's going to be taking us over his journey through cryptocurrency, how he got into crypto, what he thinks about ORE, and his role in Mindmore. So, Brian, do you have any questions for us?
No, I think we can get started. So, good evening, everybody. This evening for me. I think it's pretty late for guys in the UK. So, everybody, thank you for listening. And of course, this will be up on X to be listened to by a larger audience at more normal hours for everyone. Well, hello, Mr. CraggleBear. How are you doing today?
I'm not bad, Brian. Not bad.
I guess you're also in the UK, in that region.
Yeah. Just a bit higher up than Spud and Will.
I am still remain in Deep South Texas. So coming at you here at 7 p.m. All right, guys. So I have been quite busy this last few weeks, and I haven't been able to keep up in all the updates. Now I see, Mr. CraggleBear, that you are actually using or talking about at least the CompoundOre integration on Mindmore. If you have a minute, or if our dear beloved hosts have a moment to tell us more about the CompoundOre and the Minemaster competition, that would be wonderful, because I am not 100% up to date, guys.
So I'll take the lead on this one quickly. Will and I worked with Zedge over at CompoundOre. He runs the system, and it was his fantastic thinking and his brainstorming along with his co-founder Zane. They came up with the idea for CompoundOre. So what they do is you deposit ore onto their platform, they stake it for you, and they give you a loan. It's a no interest, no liquidation, risk-free loan. It pays out 25 basis points a week. So you should be able to pay it off within about a week. And that payment comes from them staking your ore for you. Now, what you can do with that is we automatically take that loan. It gets paid out in USDC. We take that loan and swap it to Sol for you. Then we can automatically deposit that back to your sub accounts. So it is the first fully functional flywheel that we can offer people. So users can mine They can withdraw their ore at their leisure. They can deposit into CompoundOre. They can get repeated loans, again, risk-free. There's no hazards with it or anything like that. They the SOL automatically gets pushed back to their sub accounts. So they can continue mining.
Interesting.
With the
Very interesting.
competition that we have in place, just to kick things off and get the flywheel turning, so to speak, we are tracking users who have deposited 10 or more ore into CompoundOre. And from the, I think it was from the 9th we started it. We started it on the 9th of March through to the end of March. The users that have the lowest, the one user who has the lowest cost per ore, so the most efficient mining, wins a grand prize of 5 ore. That's 1 ore
nice.
sponsored by Zedge. That's 2 ore sponsored by Starship Frank, and 2 ore sponsored by Trey Buckingham. So thank you very much to everyone sponsoring those prizes. We really appreciate it, and we love to be able to bring these sorts of things to you.
Well, I'm interested to try it. I've heard about it. I've seen it coming. I've heard them talk about it on X, but I've had such a busy 2 weeks. So if this is live, I can deposit my ore, start remining with the SOL it automatically takes a loan out against, repays itself, and allows me to keep mining in Minemaster.
Correct.
That's pretty dope. I mean, there's quite a lot of ingenuity in this space, and this is the first loan application I've seen integrated into. And I understand Minemaster also has its own standalone, CompoundOre has its own standalone website, but this integration is a little bit more, I think, more interesting from the fact that you can continue to run your smart auto miner through the earnings of CompoundOre. So that's pretty sweet, and I think I'll be taking a look at that myself. Mr. CraggleBear, are you using this? Are you using CompoundOre in the Minemaster app?
Yeah, I've only started today actually. I had funds in CompoundOre before, but I got up to 10 today just before that big mother load this morning. I think I'm up to about 4th on the leaderboard now. I've had a very good day mining today actually.
All right, yes, and the
Let
cost
me
per
check the
ore is about
leaderboard.
$40 per ore, which is running at 55. So it is a good day to mine.
Yeah.
So yeah, CraggleBear is 4th on the leaderboard right this second with a cost per ore of 0.52 SOL per ore. So he is mining at a profit.
Nice. Well, I'll jump in probably tonight myself. I have some ore that I can throw in and try this out. I gotta understand these systems because we're building so much stuff. There's so many builders in the ore ecosystem that you got to try all this stuff. There's plenty of front ends, and that's how HHC wants it. You know, we're going to build out, or at least his vision is that all these products, all this ecosystem pointed at ore, including his new secret project, whatever that is, has some kind of value drive back to ore as well. So all this is just excellent stuff. Now, I'll try this today. I think definitely want to get myself involved in the competition as well. And I see some other names I'm familiar with on the leaderboard. I see Fivealoon, who was on the show 2 weeks ago. Of course, Spuddy, Wild, both you guys. And then let's see who else. Some other guys. Diggy, I think I've seen him around. Yeah, there's some really neat stuff going on in this ecosystem, especially on Minemaster.
I've been testing a very aggressive new secret development mode. As you can see, I've actually mined 95 ore in 4 days.
What?
Yeah,
that's you're gonna take all the ore, sir. You're taking all the ore.
Maybe I don't know. I'm just gonna keep it for myself, I think.
Spuddy, I might be wrong, but is the number 1 spot on the CompoundOre leaderboard a lotto miner?
They may well be. It looks like there's only 1.6 ore mined, so they've not pulled a great deal considering they've covered 5,000 rounds.
Wow. Yeah, it could be a lotto miner. They had 0.0001 ore on a round, and boom, they hit an ore, and they're up on the P&L way higher than everyone else. So pretty crazy. It's anybody's game.
It does show us how efficient our lotto miners that we offer are actually as well. In our third space, we have a relatively new user in the Ore ecosystem, actually. Dickcoin, fantastic name.
Classic, very classy gentleman, I'm sure.
He's been showing off his strategies in the Mindmore Discord, and he's coming in swinging straight away.
He's swinging. I mean, we're leading up into a pretty dirty joke there. He's coming in swinging, but
yeah, avoid that one. Yeah.
Whoa. So I'm glad I didn't lay that landmine out. Couldn't got thrown off of X. I don't know. Well, that's awesome. I think I'll take part in this, and I do want to ask a little bit about some background. So each week, this show is going to cover a new miner in the Ore ecosystem, the Minemaster ecosystem, because they're one and the same, right? Their Ore is what we're mining here at Minemaster. And Mr. CraggleBear, I hear you have an interesting story about how you got involved in crypto.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it was how I got involved in crypto, but it's my first exposure to crypto. So it get all the way back to 2015.
Wow,
I used to, very early, but for the wrong reasons, really. I used to play it. I don't know whether you have it over there. Have you heard of the game FIFA, the football game, soccer game?
Yes.
It would be over there. So I used to be a gamer when I was in my late 20s. And they did something called Ultimate Team, where you basically had a team. I've told Spud this, I think, already, and you had to gain money in the game to buy players and get your team up. And I was in a chat one day, and one of the guys mentioned that you could go online, speak to this guy, and he would send you. Obviously, this was not legitimate, but he would send you coins, and you could buy whatever players you wanted. So I went on, found this guy, and he says, right, I can send you the coins if you send me some Bitcoin. And at this point, I'd absolutely no idea what Bitcoin was. I'd never heard of it, no knowledge of it whatsoever. So he sent me to a site called localbitcoin.com, which some of you might have heard of.
Yeah, I've heard of that one.
Some of you may have heard of it. And it was basically an escrow site. So you went on, found somebody that you wanted to exchange Bitcoin with or exchange USD for Bitcoin, and you had a chat, basically just in like the Ore chat. You basically spoke to this person and said, can I have this Bitcoin off you if I send you this? And you agreed on the terms, and then I had to send the money to localbitcoin.com. Then this guy had to send the Bitcoin to me, and then you basically left each other a feedback review. So if he sent the Bitcoin, I would leave him a good review. And if I'd sent him the funds for the Bitcoin, he left me. So it was all based on trust, basically. And I was thinking today, I don't even think any of this would work in today's world, because it would just be full of scammers. And even going back then, I never really expected. I thought it was a scam at the time. I thought I'm gonna do all this and I'm never gonna get any coins, but I did. And then the worst part is, this all cost me, I think it was early 2015. So I think I spent about $300, which was just under 2 Bitcoin, I think, at the time. And I literally received it and sent it straight to this guy for some points on FIFA. And then never went on that account again. Then, so
how many Bitcoin was that, sir? You have to tell us how many Bitcoin was $300 worth.
I think it was just under 2, but I think Bitcoin was around $200 at the time. So it would have been like 1.5 Bitcoin, wouldn't it? Horrendous.
Oh my. Well, not as bad as it could have been. Not as bad as the pizza story. Not as bad as all the other.
I was just going to say that I'm not quite topping the pizza story, but we've had some. It's a joke now, but when I did find out what Bitcoin was later on, and I saw the price of it, I was like, "Oh my God, what have I done?"
All of us, everybody.
Yeah.
I saw Bitcoin when it was around 300, but I didn't do anything. I was in college. I was poor, and I couldn't. I got a very generous amount of money from my father for every month, but it went right into my braces. Like, I was literally getting a $400 check for some living expenses, which is great at the time. But then I would go to the orthodontist and finish my braces, and that would take $350. So I had $50 a month in college. And all the loans, so I could not buy any Bitcoin. I had to spend the rest of the money on my girlfriend. So it was rough times for everybody. But at least with 1.5 Bitcoin, it doesn't feel as bad. It doesn't seem like it would hurt as bad as saying I bought 4,000 Bitcoin and gave it to somebody for a FIFA.
It's a joke now. I always joke that I've had a football team on FIFA that's probably worth more than some actual football teams now. When Bitcoin was peaking, I was thinking like, I don't know what would. There's certainly teams in this country that are probably worth less than what I paid for my FIFA team.
Ouch! But well, we all learned, and you got to watch Bitcoin from a very early stage and experienced it from a very early stage and watched it grow over the years.
The worst part of it really is I did that, and even at the time, I never really looked into what it was. I just did what this guy told me to get these things, and at the time, I didn't think, oh, I'll actually see what this is. I just did what I needed to do, logged off, and then never looked again then until probably 2019. So years later, obviously, it had been up, down, and I'd missed all of that because I was mainly into stocks, really, in the late teens. So yeah, I missed it all. I should have just done my research back in 2015, and who knows where it'd have been.
Yeah, no, I don't have a crazy story. I don't remember if I told this here on the previous show or somewhere else on the Miner Side chat, but my buddies and I got them into mining crypto with a group, a pool, all three of our PCs, and after like 2 days, they all gave up, and I was the only PC still mining. And luck would have it, I got maybe a tenth or something of a Bitcoin mined through with all three of us at the time. We could have been going, and I was never able to cash it out because I didn't meet the requirement threshold to cash it out. So even as it started to surge, my account there on Easy Miner was just sitting I couldn't even withdraw for pocket change. It was worthless. So I blame my friends for giving up because then I gave up. I blame them completely, 100%, not myself. But yeah, so that's Bitcoin. Now we're back here. It's 2026, and we're all looking for not maybe the next Bitcoin, but something that has that explosive growth. So obviously, we're mining ore, right? And I think everybody here, at least if you're not familiar with ore, the reason I'm into ore is because of all the products in the space. There's no VCs, fair distribution, the best chance we have in the space of seeing a coin run with fairness at its core. We've all invested in a ton of junk in this space that has had too many insiders, too many VCs with their pound of flesh that will dump for years. And I think that's what attracts me to ore. That's why I avoid most crypto. And the only thing I hold right now is ore. And I've held a lot of stuff, a lot of trash over the years. So needless to say, I'm here in ore for those reasons. So Mr. CraggleBear, how did you discover ore? And what attracted you to this ecosystem? You could also mention other things along your crypto journey as well, other notable coins that might have led you here or led you to the search for ore.
Yeah, I mean, going backwards, I probably got into crypto, properly got into crypto after the Bitcoin incident. I think around 2019, which would have been on Coinbase, just on the exchange. I think I was buying probably XRP and Bitcoin Cash, actually. I have no idea why. I'm assuming I probably read an article somewhere and thought I'll buy that. But turns out I did amazing. I bought it in, I think, 2019, and I think I held that. And I'm not sure if the peak was it 2021 or 2020. But anyway, my Bitcoin Cash did incredible. So
yeah, you were early. They're doing good.
Yeah, so I pretty much sold everything actually on that first big run because that was really my first experience of a run up. So that was like 2020, and then I think that led me on to self custody probably 2021, which was just as NFT. The season wasn't really kicking off, but NFTs were just sprouting up and becoming recognizable a bit. I think Bored Ape Yacht Club, I do remember seeing them when they were minting, and I just passed that by because I got no idea what I was doing. And I think I started buying NFTs probably July, August 2021, and then that was all on Ethereum. And then that went on for a while. Then I think I made the jump to Solana probably November 21, which would have been like, I don't know if you've heard of them, but Grim Syndicate was around that time. And then I slowly just fizzled out of ETH to the point now where I can't even remember the last time I touched the chain. I'm pretty much all Solana and all Ore really at the minute. I can't see anything else. I missed the meme coin cycle because I'm a terrible trader. I give it a go and just everything I touch to do with meme coins, other than maybe the odd one where I might have made a little bit, but nothing major to the point where I just thought it's not for me. I'm just no good at it.
Yeah, I've been there, and I've been coached by the best. I had a guy that I was in a group with, and we saw him turn $109 into over 100,000 on a Winnie the Pooh coin, and he was coaching us how to do it. There was about 10 or 15 of us in this group, and this guy, we knew him. We met him in person. We knew he's the real deal. He has a great, pretty large home, his own built-in spa. He's a winner at this stuff, and he was coaching us. And none of us could pick a meme coin to run to save our lives. The best I did, I think I put 200 on Keropi coin. It went up to 14K and I round tripped it. I'll be honest, I round tripped it pretty hard, but it taught me a lot about meme coins, and I shouldn't touch them. I shouldn't do it. We all tried to be this other guy, but we couldn't do it. All of us, not a single one was successful in recreating what he was able to do. So I feel you there. Meme coins are the reverse Midas touch. Right? They turn to dust when I touch them.
Yeah. You could literally, you could give me one now and tell me it was gonna pump, and if I actually bought it, it would do the opposite. I'm pretty sure if I went out and bought everything I thought I was going to buy something, but bought the opposite thing, I'm pretty sure that's what I should have done. But I don't know, just wasn't for me, and I didn't do any good at it. So I moved on then to NFTs. Finished really; they started dying off. No good at the memes, and then I went to Meteora then, and was pretty much all of 25 was just DLMMing on Meteora. I built some of my own bots and just messing about really on there. And then that led me to M3, which again, a lot of you'll probably know what happened with that. But that actually, at the time, that excited me because that was something different and pushed by a team that I'd been following for sort of 12 months. So I had high hopes for that. That was a bit gutting when all that happened. And then that led me to Ore, really. I got my Seeker. I saw Ore probably the first pump when it really pumped, but obviously it was pumping. And from my past experience, if something's up that high, I stay away from it. So I didn't really look into it until I got my Seeker. It must have come back down, and I was going through the apps really and just trying them out. I actually saw Minemaster before I saw the Ore app. Spud won't like me saying it, but I wasn't at the time. I wasn't going on any apps that were like third party created almost. I didn't fully understand the seed vault, so I was sticking to mainstream apps that I knew. So that's what led me to Ore. Researched it a bit and really liked it, and went on the official Ore app and did a lot of auto mining on there really first. Then Seeker season kicked off, and I made the decision. I thought I'm just going to have to try all of these apps and take the risk, not leave a massive amount of funds in me Seeker wallet. Obviously now I'm used to using it, and it doesn't really worry me so much. And then I joined Minemaster, I think, about November, December last year, and just instantly, I don't know what it was. Everybody's amazing in there, so it just got on with everybody. And I think I came Spuddy's bug reporter for a couple of weeks, where I just bombarded him on DM with every single bug I could find. And then we've just progressed from there. Really, I just love the way that they're running it, and they've just got so much ambition to take it far. So I'm just sticking with that, really.
Yeah, no problems there. Yeah, I think that, Seeker has seemed to be a really big entryway into the Ore ecosystem. Seeker has been mentioned over and over by even the last guest found Ore because of Seeker. So I'm wondering if we as a community need to push more. I know that Mine More lets you mine with the Seeker coin, if I recall. Is that correct? Or am I thinking of something else? Can we mine with Seeker on Mine More?
No, I think that might be. Is that Cubs with the? Is that
Oh,
Cubs?
yes. So
With
I'm
the
sorry. Since I
refinement?
host a
think
couple
possible.
different OR stuff, I get a little mixed up here. But the Seeker token, the Seeker phone, all those things seem to be a portal for finding OR and, for example, Mine More. I unfortunately do not have one, but maybe I should get one. I missed the good airdrop. Did you get a good airdrop from Seeker? Did you manage to take that and turn it into some cash or more OR?
Yeah, not bad. It certainly covered the cost of the phone, and interesting to see what the season 2 is like. But I don't really farm it as such. I was farming season 1 a little bit, trying to, but I've got to the point where I'm too busy with OR and doing other things. Really, I go on a couple of the other apps, but I'm not what you'd call a airdrop farmer now. I don't think.
Yeah, no, I bought the
season
phone,
2.
which
I'll
I
just let it
mentioned.
run, and if I
Yeah.
get something out of season 2, I get it.
Yeah, perfect. I bought the ETH phone, and it's just been awful. The airdrops are worthless, absolutely worthless, totally uninteresting. And the phone is cool itself, but it's just not anything that's going to pull anyone into Ethereum or any of the ecosystem apps. Unlike Seeker, which seems to be way more accessible, way more diverse on the apps that it has, as well as the speed of Solana. Let's not lie. The fact that things aren't fragmented. Because when I get my ETH phone, I've got airdrops on 4 or 5 different chains, and I've got to send that ETH to different chains and then get it back. And I'm always leaving some dust because I can't get all my ETH back out. That's nonsense. Whereas Seeker ecosystem is all focused around Solana, all focused around any drops on Solana. You don't have to worry about layer 2s because, let's face it, Solana's fast enough. So yeah, I mean, I'm becoming more Solana aligned as I stay in this space for sure. There's not as much on Ethereum that interests me right now. Really not. It's all about Solana.
It used to frustrate me so much. Like I said, I cashed out of most of my ETH stuff probably 18 months ago, 2 years ago maybe. And I just remember even doing that, the last thing I really did cashing out, I had to, because I'd not really got ETH everywhere, I ended up, it probably cost me, I'm going to estimate probably $100 just to cash out, because I had to keep sending ETH places and just moving stuff around, and everything costs so much when you're doing it, and you just think, what? Then you go back to Solana, and it's just such a smoother experience.
One chain, one token. Yeah, I feel you. I've got base ETH. I've got I've got Arbitra. I can't list them all. I've sent my money so many different places over the years, and it's just fragmented. So yeah, I actually got out of all my ETH October 8th of last year, 3 days before the big crash. So thank God I was out. So anyway, the next bit of my journey here is with OR, because let's face it, there's not much interesting to buy. Meme coins fall flat. Punch got up to 50 million, then immediately crashed back down. So the meme coin space is also kind of boring right now, and this is typical. This is always the bear market. This is, I've been here since 2019 as well. I know you were here a little earlier with the Bitcoin experience and jumped back into 2019, but this is the desert of the bear market. It happens every bear market. It feels like CT's gone. It feels like apps aren't pumping. Nothing's interesting. But once we get that spark of, and let's say we need Bitcoin to pump as well as our dear Ethereum and Solana. That's when the money flows back in, looking for established, interesting projects that aren't going to rug them, that have interesting thesis and staying power. And the only apps I would invest in have to survive a bear market. They have to. Or it's just not worth it. It's like a litmus test of whether or not I should invest in something. Has it been through multiple bears? Even better. Then it's likely that the team is efficient. There's revenue, there's cash flow to keep the team afloat, and they are capable of fighting back against any kind of bugs or intrusions or smart contract issues. So all that kind of adds into why, I think, as painful as it is for OR to go through this bear market and to be feeling a little quiet right now, it has to happen, because when the bull comes back, projects like OR will be at the forefront of everybody who's ever mined it, because it might be pumping at that point. They've already had exposure to it. they jump back in easily, and then it just snowballs from there, right? And then we get some institutional players hopefully picking us up, some exchanges picking us up. All those things are stuff I look forward to in this ecosystem and hope we see soon.
I think the main thing is with Ore, I actually, it's probably the first thing I've ever known, and I actually think it's better in a bear market. I think it can. I think it performs better in a bear market because you're not price wise, but like, how can I put it? There's not really been a drop off. Certainly not in the MindMore Discord, and if anything, it's growing. Which normally in a bear market, from my past experience, everything dies off. So your chat dies off, like you say, crypto Twitter dies off. But I haven't seen that with all that. And it's because I think it's a great time to mine. If you're in a bear market and the price is down here, it's fantastic, isn't it? As soon as the price starts going up, it'll cost more to mine. Yes, your rewards will be great, but I don't know. I just feel like I'm happy with it where it is at the minute. If it can go through a bear market at this price and not move a great lot, and mainly the interest stays, I think it'll. I can't think of a better thing that would. Yeah, when the market changes, I can't think of anything else I would put my money on that could thrive better than all.
Absolutely, especially since you've been staking the whole time, or holding unrefined, whatever you might be doing, or now CompoundOring with the Solana loans to start deploying back in the mines. There's a lot of positive P&L that can come from a pump, and I mean a lot of us have been holding and mining through this bear. And I've accumulated a nice bag, I'm happy to say, and I'm not going to take full profit, but once we start pumping and the avalanche comes, I think it's going to make people wish that they had stuck with mining and with holding a little longer than they did, because I know we have paper hands in every ecosystem, right? They're all over the place, but I think one thing that stops a paper-handed protocol, or people from paper-handing a protocol, is APY, right? It's kind of sets a floor. You need revenue. You need to share that with your token holders, and of course, Ore does that in multiple ways. And then of course we have our mother loads, which everybody's always chasing. So once you have some yield, it keeps the floor. It keeps the floor from going too deep, right? So instead of a 90% retracement, maybe you have a 40% or 50%. But other coins, 99% retracement. So really, I see a lot of nice ecosystems out there, some really interesting stuff, but they're dead. They're flat. For example, Hemi was something I'd look at, and that's a Ethereum layer 2 thing, and it lets you natively stake Bitcoin and Ethereum, and that thing's dead, man. It's a good idea. It's got some Bitcoin OGs involved, but it's dead. Like, it has crashed because there's no income, there's no revenue.
Yeah.
So that's a big difference from Ore. We're going to have a floor. Other tokens won't have a floor because they're 100% driven by speculation. We at least have, of course, speculation, but we have revenue, and we have that revenue sharing with the community too. So that's why Ore I think has some staying power. I'm not sure if you'd agree, but I think APY and getting some yield is way more important than people realize.
Oh, definitely. And the other thing that draws me to it is the fact that I think I touched on it earlier with you. I don't think it's reliant particularly. I know Hard Hat Chad's gone a little bit, like you said earlier, there's not been a massive update put out, but I don't think it needs it because there's that many people building things. I mean, if you just think of the MindMore app and the things they're integrating, I don't think it's released yet, but I've been testing the DLMM in the MindMore app. We've got CompoundOre. You've obviously got the other Refine Ore. I think there's the smelted one, which might be like a multi-miner that you can. So there's so many people building stuff on top of it that I think at some point it'll get to a point where it'll almost be completely community run, almost where like I very rarely go on the Ore app now. I do it all through something else, and I think that's how it'll go. I think people will just keep building on top of what is already created. And the fact that people are building on it at this point in time is fantastic, because then when it does get attention, more people are going to come in and build on it, and I do honestly think it'll just grow and grow if we get back to a point where the interest comes back.
Yeah, for sure, it will come back. I have no doubt. And I said this on another show. My best holds have been a year plus.
Yeah,
meme coins are out. I hold stuff with yield, and the yield ends up performing quite well. Now, of course, in the grand scheme of things, you see the dumbest stuff during a bull market run to hundreds of billions of millions of trillions, right? The next PayPay might be out there, like staring us at the face, and we'll miss it, right? But you just have to live with it. Like, we can't be terminally online like some of these meme coin traders, and we also have hopefully some ethics as a community, that we're not here to cause a pump and dump and ride off the back of new entrants as we try to escape as quickly as possible and never go back to that community again. No, we want something. I want this to last for a long time. As long as Solana lasts, I want ORE to last, and to be that the tool that this ecosystem can use to transmit value, to act as somewhat of a store of value, of course, maybe a little bit on the side of your bank account. You got some ORE, it pumps, it stays up into the thousands one day, 2,000, 3,000. Great. Keep it, hold it, and set the floor. Use it when you need it, but then use it for DeFi. When that happens, I'll be so happy to see more DeFi products use ORE. I don't know as much about Solana as some people. I don't know what the Aave of Solana is, for example. I don't know if we have one. I do know of some perp products and so forth, but you have to have this primitive in Solana. It has to be here, and it has to be something that's safe enough, that people feel confident enough in, that they will use it to build more DeFi on Solana. And I really hope that that's going to be ORE.
Yeah, for sure. There's stuff out there now, but like I said before, I think it'll become its own thing. I think people such as Zedge with CompoundOre, they're building their own DeFi into it in different ways, aren't they? And
yeah.
I think that'll just keep growing.
More.
And yeah, more ORE. And I think as people build these things, then the DeFi that's already there will then adopt it. And I think we're just waiting now. I think it's just a waiting game. And I think when Vion was on with you last time, he said he got the a lot of people seem to have the 12-month thing, which is good, because that's what you haven't got in meme coins. People have got a 12-hour basis, haven't they? If that, sometimes 12 minutes.
Yeah,
most of the people that I see and speak to, they're keeping unrefined ORE to some degree, obviously swapping some out to either remine or put into different products that are available, but that most people are just recycling and going again, or holding all the unrefined ORE. So it's great.
Got to be sticky. It's got to be sticky, and we have to hold the products we want the space to become. If we don't want the space to be dominated by meme coins, stop buying them. I've wasted zero money for months and months and months now. Meme coins. I'm not going to do it no more. I'm going to hold products I want the space to become. I want the space to become fair, VC free, and driven by community. That was one of the things that really got me into crypto, was that, this space is where someone like me or you can actually make a lot of money, because there's no one to hold us back, and there's no one to hold the speculation, I guess, back. But when you're trying to invest in stocks, or you're trying to do something that's speculative, and at least in America, you have to be an accredited investor, and you have to have a high net worth or a high yearly income for several years before you're able to trade in stuff that's fresh off the line of innovation, right? Everybody else with money already gets exposure to it and makes more money, but the average Joe gets left behind. So I don't want crypto to change in that regard. So I want this space to remain interesting, and I want it to be attractive to new users, and things like ORE are why I throw my entire weight in crypto right now, and even these little X spaces and the minor side chat. It's because I want ORE to succeed, and I want ORE to be more. I want crypto to be more like ORE, fairly mined, VC free, and it just is. It's just expanding.
I listened into some of the minor side chat, and it sounded like Hardat Chad was pushing for some sort of community involvement, weren't he, and passing some of the responsibility over, which I think is needed, definitely, because I think there's more people out here that can help than There's loads of us, isn't there? I've only got to scroll through X for half an hour, and obviously my algo is pointing to Ore all the time anyway. But there's so many posts every day of people pushing different things, and there's certainly people such as yourself and Starship that I think are probably better at the marketing side and pushing things forward. So that'll be good if that comes across. And
I think the foundation.
It's a fantastic idea. That is definitely,
yeah. Once we can get some contractors for the foundation that are experts in their field, give them a little. Hopefully, they're miners themselves. We don't want to hire people that don't have skin in the game, because I can tell you that when working for my older protocol that I worked for, when we had marketers that were just marketers, you could tell they had no passion for it. They were just there to catch the USDC payment and do the bare minimum, right? And they had no passion. So we have to have people working at the foundation that are miners, that at least love the product and at least show that they have their own skin in the game, so that when they're pushing it, they're not pushing it just to make a buck and walk away. They're pushing it because they want it to be a powerhouse in the Solana ecosystem. So I at least hope that's what's coming with the foundation. I know that it takes time to put this stuff together. So I wish things were on turbo mode right now, but really what good would it do? When you're trying to scream into the bear market, things don't always get very far. It's when the excitement returns to crypto, the foundation, if it's there ahead of time, it will have at least its sea legs. It'll have some experience tweeting and seeing what sticks. Hopefully some good metrics that the foundation can use to track its effectiveness, host spaces, get people involved, get big names, get big sponsors and so forth, and push the product. Because it's definitely needed. Has to happen. I understand why HHC can't be the head marketer for a product like this. It's just not something regulators would be happy with, at least on the U.S. side. And HHC sounds like an American, so he has to be careful with how he approaches marketing. He can't scream to the top of his lungs that there's a guaranteed, revenue and all that stuff. It's really tricky. So he needs the foundation to protect himself, to protect the protocol, and then to let it breathe and let it do its own thing. So I understand.
Definitely.
I just wanted to be finished soon, so that way when the bull returns, it'll be there. So, but I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know how long these things take. But my hat's off to Hard Hat Chad, and I hope he gets the foundation airtight so that we can go to the next stage of Ore.
I'm sure he's working on all these things somewhere along the way, or people with him are. It's like you say, you can't expect to update every week if nothing's going on every week. Everything takes time, and unfortunately, I think that's why the Bear's good. We've got time, haven't we?
Yes, we have. So everybody here and everybody listening in the future, keep up to date. And I've been a little guilty myself. I've been a little busy in the work field here, but keep up to date on crypto Twitter. Make sure you're following good people and strategically remind them about Ore. I will say that if you are tweeting about Ore every day, you have to be careful. The X algo will blacklist you if you post a lot of links to Ore.fyi or any website, any URL. You got to be careful, and you got to be able to talk about other things. So if you are part of the community that we want to expand, or don't get yourself shadow banned, please. You have to be diverse in your X posts, and you have to mention Ore strategically. And when the bull market comes, hopefully you'll have built up a nice amount of followers, people that are maybe passively interested in Ore because they've heard you talk about it. They'll become full-on interested in Ore because they see the coins pumping, the ecosystem's huge, Mine More is running, all the different other applications built on top of Ore running, and it becomes a phenomenon on Solana. At least that's what I hope. So, guys, be careful with your X posts out there. Don't get yourself shadow banned. But stay excited for Ore. Keep going. But yeah, I do think Hard Hat Chad is definitely right. It is going to be up to the community. One guy alone, as important as Hard Hat Chad is, it has to be self-sufficient, because what if Hard Hat Chad gets hit by a bus? Right. This whole project has to have an alternative means of survival should anything happen to the creator, and the foundation is going to allow, hopefully, multi-sig independent funding for marketing efforts and other integrations throughout crypto. So yeah, let's see how it goes and see how quick it comes.
And there's better people out there to be doing it. He's a dev, isn't he? So there's people out there that are far better at marketing and I think he admitted that, didn't he? Everybody's got a skill, so there's plenty of people out there with all the different skills that are needed. They just need a way to do it, and I think that's what the foundation is. I think it'll open up a lot of opportunities for different people.
Yeah, I don't think HHC is a bad marketer at all, though. He's a pretty interesting guy. So, and he's a pretty sincere guy. That's like half the battle in crypto is proving you exist and you're not going to rug people, and that you really believe in what you're selling, which he does. So, HHC, if you listen to this, please, even though you may not be the best marketer, continue marketing until the foundation is ready and complete. Just say cool things about Ore, please. But yeah, we will bear the burden of pushing this out to a larger community, ideally as the bull comes back. We have to. We are HHC's right hand men and women. if it's not us, there's no one. It's just the same with any other crypto protocol. If the community isn't alive and lively, it's dead on arrival. So keep mining, keep focused, and maintain the course. You ready?
Mine more.
Mine more. Yeah, mine more. Yeah. So, yeah, that's pretty cool discussion, I think, so far. Very interesting stuff to talk about with this ecosystem, where it's going in the future, and I think we all have a lot of faith in it.
I think most people know me. I just test. I've probably tested every strategy from 1 tile to 25, and I don't particularly. I know some people don't like sharing the strategies, but I just put them out there. Just trying to help people, really. I probably should post. I should probably post the bad ones a bit more. I do tend to. You lean towards posting your good strategies, don't you? But I think people follow those better anyway, because people don't look for a bad strategy, do they? So, yeah,
Ryan,
I just tend to.
You post your strategies on the MindMore Discord, right?
I just post everything out pretty much. If it can help somebody, it helps somebody. Everybody's got a different strategy, I think, in MindMore, because there's not, out of all of us that mine, I don't think any of us are using the same one. So it's hard for people that come in, because the first question every time somebody comes in the Discord is, how do I do this profitably? And it's pot luck, really, who's on Discord at the time, because whoever answers, 9 times out of 10, you're biased towards your own strategies. So whoever answers them, they probably get that strategy pushed onto them a little bit. I know I do it. I can't help doing it. But it is great because you can get people that are lotto mining. So you don't need a lot of funds to mine, or do you? Then you can go to the other end of the scale. The other end of the scale is people deploying. I don't even know what the highest I've seen is, but it's certainly. Well, there was the guy, I think, doing 5. I'm sure somebody said today there was somebody dropping like 10 or 15 sol on a round, which is mega amount, isn't it? And I don't know whether that's efficient or not, but
yeah, there's all kinds, and that's the best part about it. You get your technical traders and you get your lottery miners, and they can all mine, and no one's going to tell you it's wrong. There might be some more profitable, but if you're mining at this point, you're probably going to be positive P&L, especially the first pumper. Even without a pump, it's only cost $40-something to mine 1 ore right now, which is at $55 an ore, or $57 now. So really, just mine it. Just keep going, guys.
It's really a great time to be mining, definitely.
We'll be back at 200. We'll be back at 500. We'll be back at 1,000. We'll be hitting 3,000. We will do it, and just keep holding, guys. just bear through the bear market, if you will. And again, if anybody doesn't know, I'm not employed.
What's your strategy, Brian?
So I do all kinds of stuff. I've since I host with Starship Funk, I have to host the miner side chat. I've used the different strategies on different applications so far. I've used MindMore. I've used Cub's product as well. And really, I do use the main miner a lot.
Yeah.
Minemaster has been a lottery miner for me, and it actually produced my highest P&L in a while. I think I was on a top miner tile.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's really depends. Mine more, I would do lottery, and then the normal front end, I just throw a soul or two in there, and I put it kind of like lottery mining as well, 0.001 on, but 5 tiles, right? I want 500 rounds. I want to be able to go to sleep and wake up for like 5 days later, remember my rounds are still running. So
Yeah.
that's how I accumulate my unrefined ore. Problem for me is that since I try different applications, my unrefined ore is fragmented amongst different ones. And I'm
Yeah.
not going to say one's more better than the other. Since I host this channel, this X Space, and I host the Miner Side Chat with Starship Frank, I'm not trying to play favorites. If anybody asks me, hey, come help with a space for ore, as long as it's about ore, I'll do it. So, guys, if y'all need anybody to kind of help out, I'm free. I'm game. We're here to push this ecosystem.
The fragmenting is not a bad thing, though. I don't think, because that means if we do get going up there, you've got the option. You haven't got to sell your entire bag, have you? You can pick and choose. You can pick and choose different accounts.
Different products.
Yeah, exactly. So you can think, well, that's my lowest one. I'm going to take some profit on that. You're not having to get rid of all your refined or unrefined ore in one go.
Yeah, true.
That's one of the main things that I did for a good while. Keep my main amount in the main ore app, and then now I've split it. I tend to split it out and in over different accounts just to give you the, because if I motherload chase quite a bit, so sometimes I'll claim one lot and recycle it back to Sol and go after a motherload, and it just works. At the very beginning, I was seeing the number go up in one account, thinking, oh yeah, I'll get this as high as possible, but then you're left with the horrible decision. If you actually need some of it, you've got to drain the entire thing.
Yeah, true. And that would hurt. That would hurt after you've accumulated lots of
it definitely makes sense to split it out. I think that's whether that's on different applications or on different wallets. That's one thing that I think everybody should do eventually. Once they get into mining and they're going to stick at it, I definitely think they should split it out.
True. Good point. Well, guys, it is almost an hour now. I just noticed that Bitcoin has retaken 71 from 70. So Solana's moved up a little bit, Ore's moved up a little bit. Man, what's next? I don't know how long this bear market's going to last. Dow Jones futures seem to be going down because of the Iranian bombing of different tankers that are trying to make it through, and the threat of mines. Really interesting times for an investor. Very difficult times for an investor. But again, just hold what you believe in. Hold what you want the space to become. Hold your ore. And I haven't really found anything more fair, more interesting in the space that I think is accessible or early. You're early, guys. You're early. Well, I understand it's late for you guys. I think it's been pretty cool to hear your story about Bitcoin. Everybody's got a story about how they got involved in crypto. It's always interesting to hear that. And then, of course, your journey to ore, right? So, guys, we have just a few minutes. If anybody wants to pop on stage, talk, chat, tell us about your ore in these last 5 minutes, raise your hand, and I'll see if I can invite you up. I think I can.
Yeah, I think you made you co-host.
Yeah. So again, interesting times. I'm not sure if I'm ready to jump back into Bitcoin at all. I do $100 every few weeks in Bitcoin. It's one of those things. But most of my money's in ore. That's what it is. I think there's the most potential here. So let's hope that the bull market comes sooner than later. But I just don't know. Bitcoin's holding its own while the Dow Jones is dropping. I mean, it's a really odd situation. So maybe Bitcoin is finding its legs, and that's good for crypto.
I think it's an unpredictable time, isn't it? At the minute, you can't really. Different things are happening every day, and we've never really been in this situation before, have we? So I think you've just got to ride it out.
Yeah, well, when Russia invaded Ukraine, we saw them lining up on the border. We all saw it coming. We saw all the news reports of Russia amassing troops, and a lot of us still didn't sell or short. Like maybe some did, right? I just don't have that urge to go short the market. Like I know that the ships were going to Syria but I didn't short the market because of course, if I did short the market, it would pump right before the actual war started and liquidate me. So it's a hard thing to trade. So it's just better just to hold and stack something with yield. So really, it truly is.
I posted the oil chart the other day. Looked like a meme coin. Have you looked at the oil chart? It literally pumped up, down, up. It was just. I think I posted it in the Discord at one point, and it was quite not funny for some people, is it? But it literally had the pattern of a meme coin.
Yeah, wonderful situation we're finding ourselves in. That was, I did see that and think, oh man, here comes $3 a gallon. But then I woke up that next day and it was back down in the 70s or 80s, whatever. I was like, what just happened? Did the war end? Like, you wake up and like, what happened now? What did Trump tweet? What did Iran do? It's just, wow, what a mess. So I don't know. I'll sit on my hands. I still got some cash outside of my ore. I still got my cash, so I'm going to sit on it, keep mining little chunks at a time, and wait this out because I just don't know when to jump back into the market. It's just so much chaos in the world right now.
No, it's just that's why I like mining. I can just tick over, and I'm pretty much sidelined now. Most of mine's either in USDC or Solana. I still hold and all. I'm literally not even looking at anything else. It's not worth taking a risk on anything.
Absolutely, especially not the meme coin. Stay away, guys. Stay away. All right. Well, nobody really had anything really to ask in the audience, which is fine. It's totally fine. Small audience, but there's going to be more people listening to this. So I hope everybody who listened to the recording of this gets something out of it. There's always something interesting happening in ORE, and there's a bunch of people that are consolidating around this product, a bunch of unique, driven individuals who believe in ORE. They're all coming out of the woodwork, and they're devising and developing and mining unique ways to find the value in this space, and particularly with ORE. And you know what? We're going to attract the best and the brightest because ultimately you realize that this token is full of the best and the brightest in the space, and this project attracts the best and the brightest of the space. So, guys, thank you, everybody. Thank you, CraggleBear. Thank you, Mindmore, and our hosts. I really appreciate y'all bringing me on, and it was fun talking to you, Mr. CraggleBear.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure. Great fun. We've got to see if you can end the space now, haven't we?
Yes. That's hopefully we can. Otherwise, it'll just keep going forever and ever, as long as the host stays on. So, guys, I'm going to.
Here. I just want to say thank you.
Oh, he's still here.
I am still here. I've been listening the whole time.
It's late. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. I understand. So I just want to say thank you very much, Brian, for hosting. Thank you, CraggleBear, for coming up to speak.
No problem.
Hopefully next time, if there's a space, I can tell you about the story. I alluded to it in the group DM just now, but $4 million I lost.
Oh,
I'll just leave that there for you.
For next time. Okay. Wow.
We definitely need to hear that story.
All right, guys. Well, I thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for hosting us again. And for everyone listening to the recording, look out for this again in a few weeks.
See you later, guys.
Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.
Everybody. Bye-bye.